Join the party, have a hearty glass of rum.
Hey everybody, it's Adam. We're going to do some baking today, and I'm going to show you my recipe for a chocolate Guinness cake with cream cheese frosting. It gets requested at my restaurant all the time. It's really damp, really chocolatey, and super delicious. So let's get started. To begin, preheat your oven to 350 degrees. Alright, the first thing we're going to do is add a stick and 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter in a pan and melt it with a cup of Guinness. I know Guinness might sound strange and you're not going to really taste it. I'm going to turn my burner on pretty low. I just want to melt the butter in the Guinness, and then we'll move on and add the cocoa and the sugar. Okay, while I'm waiting for my butter to melt in the pan, I'm going to prepare my sugar and cocoa. I'm going to measure out 2 cups of just plain white granulated sugar. And now to the bowl, I'm going to add 3/4 of a cup of Dutch pressed cocoa, unsweetened. And 3/4 of a cup. I'm just going to give my butter a little stir just to move it along, make sure everything's incorporated. It smells awesome. This is a really awesome cake to make because you're pretty much just melting your butter in the pan and then you just add in all the other ingredients. You're not spending a million hours at your mixer, and it's a really impressive dessert which everyone will love, and it really is minimal effort. Alright, my butter is melted in the pan. I'm going to add my sugar and cocoa. Be really careful when you're dumping in your cocoa because it has the tendency to fly everywhere. And now I'm just going to whisk it all together. It smells awesome. Okay, that is all mixed together. I'm going to turn off my burner and take my mixture off the heat just so it has a second to cool down before I add the eggs. Alright, while that's cooling on the oven, I'm going to start working on the rest of my ingredients. I'm going to put them into this one bowl, which I'm going to add my hot mixture to in a few seconds. I'm going to start with 2 eggs. To the eggs, I'm going to add 3/4 of a cup of sour cream. It's really going to make for a moist and delicious cake. And finally, a tablespoon of really good vanilla. Don't use the imitation stuff, you will not get the same flavor. It smells awesome. And now I'm just going to give it a quick whisk before I add the stuff in the stove. And now I'm ready to add my chocolate mixture to the eggs, sour cream, and vanilla. And now I'm just going to give it a quick mix before I start adding all of my dry ingredients. This is beautiful and glossy, just the way you want it. Alright, now it's time to add my dry ingredients, and I'm going to start with 2 cups of all-purpose flour. Ooh. And 1 cup. And 2. And now 2.5 teaspoons of baking soda. And I'm gonna add just a pinch of salt for some flavor. And now I'm just gonna mix it all up until the ingredients are all incorporated. Alright, my batter is all set to go. I'm going to set it aside for 1 second and get my pan ready. I'm using a 9-inch non-stick cake pan. You could use a springform pan, but this is really easy and you don't have to deal with that crazy springform pan later. I'm going to butter it just for extra measure, just so there's no problem getting the cake out later. This batter looks amazing. Now I'm going to stick my cake in the oven for about 45 minutes to an hour. Checking after 45 minutes, just putting a knife through. Alright, while my cake is baking, I'm going to get started on the frosting. I'm going to make a cream cheese frosting. I think it goes really well with kind of the damp blackness of the chocolate cake that I'm making. You could use buttercream, but I don't think it's as good. I'm going to break out my Mama Jamma KitchenAid mixer. I'm going to use the paddle attachment. I'm going to start with 8 ounces, which is 1 package of cream cheese. Next, I'm going to add 1.5 cups of confectioner sugar. And a half. And lastly, a tablespoon of my sweet awesome vanilla. Okay, beat it for about a minute. I'm gonna just check on it just to make sure. And this is exactly what you want. If you look at this consistency right here, it's smooth, but it's still kind of holding its shape when I take it out. Perfect. All right, it's been about 47-ish minutes. I took my cake out, and now I'm just gonna let it cool in the pan for about 10 minutes before I take the cake out. Alright, now it's time to frost my cake. As you can see, it's not very thick or very high. That's because it's kind of a really dense, deep, dark cake, so you don't want it to raise very much, otherwise there wouldn't be much flavor. Now I'm going to add all of the frosting that I made earlier. And that is my Chocolate Guinness Cake. It's deep and brown on the bottom and frothy and white on the top, just like a pint of Guinness. Thanks for watching, everybody. This recipe and others are available on my website, adamcrowcatering.com, and you can watch other episodes of my cooking show, Cook with Adam, on YouTube. See you next time.
Come on, join the party. Have a hearty glass of rum.